How's it going, everybody? Nikki D here, coming to the live man yet again. I know, I just feel and look tired. It's the last day, dude. So yeah, we're on day 15. We are on the official last day of the trip. Technically speaking, we have tomorrow morning where I go fly back home, and then I'm actually going back to play board games in the evening. So we'll see how that turns out. Might not go that well, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. So I just want to talk about London, man. How I'm feeling, and I think just overall on the trip. So this might be a little bit longer, but you get the idea. We're just waiting for the Imperial War Museum to open. Opens in just about an hour, so I figured I'd burn some time. And today, again being the last day, man, we're chilling. We're going very relaxed pace. So I'm just doing Tower of London today in this, but I'm just going to make the video preemptively. So the War Museum online looks pretty dope. They've got like showcasings of like tanks. Again, hopefully we have some footage on screen. So they've got like showcasings of like tanks. You know, they'll have like weapons and stuff, which is, I just love looking at it. I think it's so cool, like seeing like World War I, World War II stuff. And it's free. Yeah, you can't go wrong. And the second thing, of course, being the Tower of London, big castle. I think it's like currently actually like used a lot. So I've seen a few castles out of London, and that's what we'll talk about here now. I hope the Tower of London's going to be good. I really do. So the first night in London, I don't know if I really talked about it in my first video when I went over to Edinburgh, but I'll talk about it now just in case. So the way my trip worked out was that I flew to London direct, and then I took a train with Eurostar immediately in the morning, and I trained to Scotland because it was just cheaper to fly to London, and then I was just going to go all the way around, come back to London, and then I was going to take my return flight home. So yeah, return flight, booked direct through London, and it was the cheapest option, so it's a no-brainer. Eurostar was extremely affordable. I will also say any time that I've taken the train, which was the only time I didn't, was I flew to Amsterdam from Edinburgh, but every other time I took a train, they were very, very good. I had no complaints with the train system. They're very, very nice, and I could pre-book all those tickets. So I actually had them like 2 months in advance, just sitting there ready to go. So like it's just like peace of mind, you know, and very affordable. So the first night, though, I got into like a capsule hostel, which I've never really heard of. But this is more of like an Asian thing where they've got the capsule hotels. So if you don't know what those are, it's pretty much a tube in the wall, and you like lay into the tube, and it's like a capsule, like and you just lay into it. They do have a little bit of room, but you're not like generally like it's not a hotel room. It's the opposite of that. Like you literally have a little tube. Like you see this bench, it's something like this, right? You would lay inside of it. You'd have some wiggle room, of course, but other than that, you're in the tube. You know, you get a curtain at the end or whatever. The only problem is they had no window open, so it felt like it was about 30 Celsius in there, and I honestly really felt like it. I don't even think I even slept. I think I might have got an hour. So we were off to a rough start. But back into London, I've got a new hostel, which I think it's got its own complaints, but it's actually probably one of the better hostels I've been at. They're very friendly about getting people to meet. They do like a free dinner every night at 7:30, which was pretty cool. The only problem is it's definitely a party hostel. I've talked to a couple of people that have been here, and I have yet to meet anyone over the age of 24. Most of them have been younger. Like they'll be like 18, 19, 20. And a lot of people don't seem very interested in talking the moment I say I don't really drink, which I don't. I have the odd drink, but I'm not going to go to the bar and go pay like £10 for a pint, you know, like that's just, the conversion rate's horrible for me, right? So yeah, I'm not that interested in it, right? I'm here to see stuff, right? I want to visit. So a lot of the people I notice in the hostel don't get up early either. Like I'm up very early. I'm always up at about 6, and there's a very like a few amount of people that are up that early. Everybody else seems to be up very, very late drinking, going to parties and stuff. And they're advertising at the hostel, which is great. It just, I don't feel like I click with that. You know, I'm not interested in that. Never have been. Even when I was 20, I was never interested in that, nor am I now. But that being said, like, yeah, the hostel's fine. It's good. Whatever. So the first day was actually not really that busy. I checked out Big Ben, and I was kind of sickened by like how many people are just like lurking around trying to get the right photo. There was like a phone booth. I guess that's probably where everyone takes their damn photos. And there was literally a queue of probably like 50, 60 people to walk up and take a selfie, which I just think is just, yeah. I don't know what to say, man. Yeah, I don't know what to say to that. Yeah, I don't remember the other thing I did there. I did 2 main things that first day. I don't remember what it was. Oh, the National Museum. Yeah, and I've realized in my travels now that anytime you have a museum that has no price tag, like this Imperial War Museum is a great example. Anytime you have a museum with no price tag, they're busy. Yeah, there's just no way around it. Like, I mean, just in these cities, right? Like Paris, you know, London, Amsterdam, you know, it's just going to be crowded, like as heck, you know. Yeah, and it's just gonna be a wild ride. And yeah, it's just like the museum was busy, as busy as fudge. There's a lot of people, man. I tapped out at like 2.5 hours, but again, there's a lot to see. And read and stuff. It's just like shoulder to shoulder in some of the rooms, and I find that really distasteful because I just want to walk around and look. I don't want to have to like keep yelling at people to get out of the way, please, so I can walk forward. But overall, like, not a bad time. I don't want to make it sound like I'm a hater. It was like my Paris vlog, not a hater, right? Supposedly, by the way, too, just thinking of Paris, the pickpocketing here is also a thing. Someone at my hostel had their phone taken, so they put it down like right here. Like, I got my camera right here. They put their phone down there, and some guy in a moped came up and just took it and drove off. So, like, you know, and that was pretty recent. So, like, it's still a thing here. Don't get me wrong. It still exists. One of the ones I did yesterday, I did like a little tour. It wasn't, I'm not gonna lie, it wasn't the best tour that I did. Like, it was like through an agency. We're gonna talk about the second one in a minute, and we're gonna have a thought to say about that one. But it's the same company. I'm not gonna name them. And they, yeah, it's just like one of the tour buses. They have a host, and they talk to you and they tell you the history and stuff. But one of the ones I was very unexpectedly happy with was Leeds Castle. Leeds Castle was like really known for like being run by queens, so by women, right? It was not like a king and whatever. And it is so picturesque on this castle. I would even call it maybe a palace, but like a castle. It's so picturesque. It was perfect. I was actually quite shocked at how much I liked it. You know, you walk up and you can tell, like, it's got the water around it with the birds. It's just so peaceful and nice. Yeah, the last person who owned it, I believe they had it like up until sometime in the 90s, and then when they passed away, they like gave it to the state, and they're like, hey, I want people to come see it and view it. So it's like there's some different styles going on in it, and it's really cool. You get an audio guide for like £4, and I enjoyed it. I really can't say more than that. I really enjoyed it. Spent a little bit of time, and I'm going to pronounce this wrong, but like Canterbury. I think that's Canterbury. That was okay. You know, there was like some Palestinian protest. It was kind of interesting. But like other than that, it was just like checked out the cathedral they had in town. That was cool. I always like the cathedrals. I've seen so many cathedrals on this trip, it's not even funny. And I might go see St. Paul's today that's here as well. So, I mean, as the last thing of the day. So that, yeah, I've seen a lot of cathedrals. But very nice, you know, very nice. And the other tour is what I really want to talk about. So I actually had a quite negative experience with this tour. So the tour is 2 languages. I don't know how to word this because I'm just low on energy. So I'm just trying to, you can tell my brain just can't compute it. So yeah, it's two languages that they do the tour in, which is fine. So they do it in English and Spanish. So you immediately can kind of already tell that half the people on the bus are going to speak one language and half are going to speak the other. And they didn't like, I don't want to say like segregate them, but that is kind of the right word. So what they've done before is they'll put all the Spanish people, like, say, upstairs, and then all the English downstairs. And they'll have an English guy downstairs, you know, with you, and they'll have the Spanish one upstairs. So they can just talk the whole time in one language, and they can all understand them. And you can talk to people that are on the bus with you that speak the language, right? But in this bus, they just put everybody together. So it was like half the people, you just didn't know what they were saying, if they were talking to you or not. You have no idea. And the tour guide had like this like headset. So everybody had to wear that headset, and then he would like flip between channels. Maybe like channel 10 for English, channel 10 for Spanish. So he would give a blurb about whatever, and then he'd have to switch to Spanish and give the whole same blurb again. And I just found it like, yeah, just, I don't know, man. I just wish they had 2 guides or something, like, because half the time, like, there'd be no talking. And you realize that he's up top talking into the microphone, but only everybody else can hear. So yeah, and then you didn't know like who you could talk to, you know, like who would understand you. So that was kind of just unfortunate. But it was okay. Like it could have been a little better. And I think the host was fine. Like I think he did a good job with it. But I just, that would be like a nitpick. The problem that I have will come up shortly. The tour itself, though, was pretty good. So we got to do Windsor Castle. So Windsor Castle, like, you know, is like actively used. So you get to see the guard change, which was pretty cool. Again, a lot of people. That's shoulder to shoulder when the guard change happens. It's not a good time, but it was pretty cool. Like, it's still pretty cool to quickly walk through it. If I actually had to make an argument, I would probably say I enjoyed Leeds Castle a little bit more, and I think it's also due to the fact that I could walk around the castle. There was flexibility. I could move. I didn't have people like just bumping into me constantly and shoving through me. I was able to actually look. Did Stonehenge. I thought Stonehenge was a little underwhelming, I'm not going to lie. It's a bunch of rocks in a field. But it is still, like, it was cool. Like, it's like, okay, I've been here. It was like Mount Saint Michel, in Normandy, right? It's like, okay, I've been here. I've seen it, right? I've done something like this. I'll probably never go to Stonehenge again, but I've been there, right? I've seen it. And then we did something else, but yeah, it wasn't really... I don't know, it wasn't noteworthy. The big thing was when we got dropped off, there was some kind of construction. And I'll give like credit where it's due. They did try to help people with the metro line. They were like, I just told them I was going to walk because I did originally. And it was like a 40-minute walk to the hostel, which I don't mind when you're traveling, right? Like you get to see some stuff on the way. My problem there was then it turned into a 2.5-hour walk. So that's how far away we got dropped off. So I actually had to go figure out the metro real quick, which I did use, and it really wasn't that bad. It was only a couple pounds. But yeah, like no bus pass, no metro pass given to you. It was just like, buddy was just like, yeah, like how you getting home, So yeah, we just got dropped off. My apologies. We got dropped off just really far away. And I thought it was just like not great. Like as the tour guide, I know stuff comes up. And the other thing, I was wondering if it was like the meter. I know they have a limited amount of time they're allowed to like drive the bus, like doing the tour. And maybe that caught up and they're like, well, we have to drop them off here. Because I didn't see any visible construction. There very well might have been construction, but I'm just saying, like, I didn't see anything. And it really just left a negative experience to me. Because then, like, after the fact, they were asking for donations. Like, you have the gall to ask for a donation. Like, dropping us way off from where we were. And like a few minutes prior to even learning that, they were walking around with like a QR code and trying to get everybody to scan it to leave them reviews. I just said, no, thank you. I'm glad Buddy just left. Sometimes they'll actually be like, are you sure? Like, yeah, like I don't ever leave a review. I just leave. I don't want to leave reviews. I don't, you know what I mean? I hate being forced to try to leave reviews. And again, it can only be a 5-star. If I said a 3-star or a 4-star, it's not good enough, right? It's like, well, okay, well then I'm just not going to post. Right, because I often don't find 5-star, like any trip I've pretty much had on this entire thing, I would not have given a 5. We'll do a walk here, guys. But yeah, like I just would not really generally give a 5, and I guess that's like going off like Viator or however you pronounce it in TripAdvisor, right? That's the problem, but like whatever. That's just me, boys. Don't worry about it. Yeah, so I guess like kind of just in closing, I know this like, it's related to the trip, okay? You can skip off the video now if you don't want to. If you don't want to see it, but it's not London specific anymore. But I just want to talk about like just my final notes of the trip. I think overall it's been good, man. It's been, this is 16 days in total. Like I said, we fly out tomorrow at like 12:30, which isn't too bad, right? So we fly out tomorrow 12:30 direct. Thank God. Like I said, today it's just going to be this, Tower of London, and then hopefully just there's an Irish pub near the hostel. That's all I want to do. I want to keep it really, really simple and like, just get out of here. But I've learned a lot, man. And the pickpocketing and stuff, I really think is like as a traveler, I think you have really nothing to worry about with the pickpocketing. I think if you're just competent, you'll be okay. I've just been very watchful. I've kind of joked about it on the trip to myself a few times, but what I'll do is like if there were people coming, right, they were coming this way, I would put my hand to my pocket, like in my pocket, and I would just keep my right side of my body over here, like where there's a wall, right, or there's nobody coming, like it's, excuse me, or it's the, like the road or something, right, the shoulder. So that way, like there's nobody on my right side, so my phone, well, in my opinion, is probably fine. And if there is someone kind of like sketchy, hand in the pocket, and you just kind of, or in both, honestly, and you'll be okay. The camera on the one arm, I do this just so my shoulders aren't like blazing in friggin' pain, because they do. But I'll just do it around my neck normally, and like again, if you can pull that off my neck without me like realizing it or stopping it, I'd give you a medal. I'd be very impressed. I have also slept with my camera the entire time, but I always do when I travel because that's just how I feel. I go to the bathroom with it. I do everything with it. It does not leave my sight. A big thing also, I would really say, like just in general, but like it doesn't have to be like London or Paris. When you go to sit down, like you sit down on a park bench. I did this as my first camera I ever had. It was like a $200 camera, so whatever. But it's $200. It was Nikon. Really bad model, but like whatever. I took it and I set it down beside me on the bench, and then I got up and walked away for like probably about 20 minutes, and I came back to get it and it was gone. So yeah, be careful when you do that stuff, right? Because like obviously here you don't have to wait 20 minutes. Like there's literally a picture outside the wall. They have it on camera where Buddy was sitting there at the hostel. He has his phone right here, like right beside him. The moped came up behind him, just grabbed it and went. And they have the screenshot of Buddy grabbing the phone, right? So that's all you need. Like you just, as long as it's in the open and it's viable for them to take it, they will. So just, yeah, just be careful, be competent, and I think you'll be perfectly okay. Yeah, you'll have no issue. Favorite thing of the trip, out of all of them, would be a really tough debate. I don't think I could properly give an answer yet on that. But I've got highlights probably from every city, and I will say I'm really going to debate here, but I think Edinburgh and Amsterdam were the top two. There's no debate in my mind. Like those were the two best. Oh, dude, Amsterdam was so picturesque. The whole city was like, you just constantly have moments where you're like, I want to take a photo. You know, that was really nice. Also, Amsterdam was the city as well, the first city that I started realizing people just don't get the hell out of your way when you're trying to walk. And I'd be like just like shoving through people. So that was the first one that I felt that at. Paris was unbelievably bad. And yeah, and I did have a bad taste in my mouth about Paris when I got like the bracelet scammers, but I kind of moved on, and I think I enjoyed myself after. It was just like the first hour, I was like, yeah, it's pretty rough. Pretty rough. Yeah, I don't want to take too long here. We'll wrap it up. So yeah, no, thanks for watching, guys. I think the next thing on my list will be like Iceland. I'd really like to do Iceland and Banff, Canada. That would be good too. I was debating it here in about a month for Banff. Like I feel like I could do it in like September, like Labor Day weekend. And I'm going to keep debating that, but I have to be honest, I don't think I'm going to do it. I spent a lot of money on this trip, and I think I should wait, and I should try to space out my trips. So doing a trip like 4 weeks later doesn't really sound wise to me. Like I feel like I should actually genuinely like wait. So we'll see how we make on. But if I need to update after anything from today, I will, but I highly doubt I will. I think I'm just going to take it easy, and I'm just going to relax for the day, and we're just going to get the hell out of here. So, all right, thanks for watching, everybody. Oh, actually, I'll add one thing. I'll milk the video for like 1 more minute. The Metro as well. Yeah, man, I used the Metro for the first time in my life, like multiple times now, and like the proper Metro, right? Like not like I booked Eurostar, I walked onto the train. Like, I mean, I walked down, okay, got to go from Heathrow to this area. Okay, cool, got it. Right, catch this line, go over. One of the big things I realized, like in the Metro, man, was like, and I thought this was just smart, is I'll bring my raincoat, I'll take my camera around my neck, my camera. It's one thing you don't want to do is like show off something like that that's just like sitting there, because you're just gonna like, I'm not even like, I could not be a tourist. Like I use my camera all the time at home. Like I'll walk around and do that stuff. But as long as you look the part, doesn't matter. All right, thanks for watching, everybody. Peace.